Welcome to the Backlog Podcast number 71. I'm Matt.
Quintessence.
So I think we're going to do a news week today. I know we did previously say we were going to do an episode on Def Jam, but we're kind of working towards that. Our guest. It'll happen someday, either next week or the week after. Quint, did you happen to check out
Evo Japan?
I mostly caught the Tekken stuff and didn't see much of anything else other than a little bit of Guilty Gear, which was standard Guilty Gear tomfoolery and Strive.
Sounds like it's kind of boring.
I find it pretty boring. Obviously it has some kind of appeal since it's always on like a main stage. It was more just happy chaos being happy chaos.
Still, I specifically stopped watching Guilty Gear because of Happy Chaos.
And then if it isn't happy chaos, it's book guy.
Asuka?
Yeah, Asuka.
Yeah.
For some reason my brain's like, it's not Asuka, that's a Tekken character. I'm like, no, it's Asuka. So if it wasn't him, it was Asuka, just doing ridiculous, absurd things. People are like, oh, this character's so hard. And it really looked like the character just actually kind of played itself. It seems like everything just kind of like flows into each other anyway. I don't know. I don't play Guilty Gear anymore.
You really have to like kind of hand it to Guilty Gear though. They really designed some interesting fighting game characters.
They did. It's a shame that Strive just took a dump over all of that.
Oh. I too am not a big fan of Guilty Gear Strive. It's all right. I mean, I'm sure, I might come back to it at some point, see if I still feel the same way as I do. Not sure I'm going to be changing.
On the Guilty Gear front, we got Slayer. Slayer's coming, dandy step.
Hey, well, at least it's not Testament.
We have Testament already.
Oh, that's right. That's fine. This Testament's fine. Not Original Testament. Original Testament is incredibly broken.
Slayer's cool. I love Slayer. I was like, oh, Slayer's back? That could almost give me a reason to play Strive. Almost.
Slayer was my secondary character. The soul dad guy.
Oh.
Yeah, I was also a Slayer player. I didn't realize it. He's basically a boxing character.
Kind of. Vampire boxer teleporter character. Yeah.
He's got like a back sway. He can like weave through fireballs and stuff like that.
He's cool. He's very stylish. I'm surprised it took this long to get Slayer, which makes me think that Guilty Gear is winding down.
Strive has only been out for a few years though.
Yeah, they're going into season 4. Slayer was the last reveal for season 3, and now we're moving into season 4.
Who actually won Tekken this year?
Chikarin, wasn't it? Yeah, it's Chikarin. Chikarin beat Lehigh in the grand finals.
Who was he using?
Lily. And then everyone's like, oh, Lily's so broken. Nobody's even talking about her before. And now Chikarin does well with her, and she's just the most busted character in the game. Crazy.
Did you have any kind of other high points you wanted to touch upon during the tournament?
One big point I did notice, the defense isn't completely dead in Tekken 8. Chikarin had a lot of really strong defense. Like when people are like, oh, defense is worthless in Tekken 8. Chikarin seems to be doing fine with it. It's just mashing 8.
I fell off on Tekken, but I'm curious to see what your thoughts are on the current state of Tekken and how things are kind of progressing.
I think overall we're moving in a much better direction now. The last patch brought up lower tier characters into better viability. Unfortunately, not really Zafina. Shit happens. But Leroy's good now. Bears are popping off now. Some characters just moved up. Asuka's good now. And people are like, oh, Asuka, bottom 5. And they're like, oh no, Asuka A tier. Asuka A tier now. So I feel like that's a pretty good direction, but I still feel like the outliers, the Ninas, the Jins, the King, they need to be brought down instead of this philosophy of buff everything and don't really nerf anything, which could be problematic. Drag's still extremely strong even after the nerfs, but what I'm really excited for is the next patch that we have coming. They said they want to reduce the pressure that heat causes and better defensive options, which I think would be extremely good for the game. Whatever the hell that means, maybe they'll buff sidestepping again. It would be nice that heat pressure is toned down. You get the heat engage, you're into a mix, and then they can just blow that heat and put you into another mix at point blank. I'll just wait patiently to get to play the game. And then you have people with the lowest defense score ever, but a ridiculously high attack score running their flowcharts. And if you don't beat their flowcharts, you just can't win. It's a very polarizing experience, I feel. Tekken 8 has a lot more moments than Tekken 7 of, oh, I just don't get to play the game right now. Really frustrating, especially coming from Tekken 7, which was more defense oriented. This feels almost like I'm playing a tag fighter with how often I'm blocking.
I know you got a little taste of it with Garo, but if you are playing, you know, something like KOF, you're going to be blocking for a while. I get it, but it kind of comes with that sort of special system, special moves mentality to a game.
Heat was a mistake.
We both know that Tekken needed something different for Tekken 8.
Everyone was crying about Tekken 7. The funniest part about this whole Tekken 8 bad thing is people are looking back at Tekken 7 fondly now. Tekken 7's so trash, Tekken 8's gonna blow it out of the water. And then, you know, they're like, oh, Tekken 7, I may have made a mistake. I treated you so poorly. I didn't know what we had. I'm so sorry.
I didn't know what we had. I really want you to take me back.
Tekken 8, babe, like, messed up.
I really love you, girl.
Pulling out the boombox, serenading Tekken 7. I saw people on my friends list going back to Tekken 7, which is surreal to me.
I've been jumping around to different games. I've played a lot of Garo, been playing a lot of Pocket Bravery, a little bit of Street Fighter 6. Going back to it, didn't realize I missed it.
I saw Jamie got buffed.
I didn't realize you played Jamie.
Played Jamie and Chun, yeah.
I didn't realize you liked the struggle. That's cool.
I had Chun on the side. It was fine.
Jamie's a choice.
Jamie is the struggle bus. He was so bad. Apparently gotten way better now. He doesn't lose his drink levels when he drinks his level 2.
So he can drink more often now. Not only that, but they threw Street Fighter 6 and then updated the drive reversal systems because like a lot of characters don't have great reversals. They saw the way Akuma was playing. The Street Fighter team realized that if they buff B reversal, they could get away with increasing mix-up situation with other characters. Like, because Akuma with his demon flip gives you like 50-50s.
I was seeing a little bit of that when I was watching you and Ringbot play. They just put you in the blender.
He did it a couple of times. I felt like I was losing to damage with Akuma.
Yeah.
He touched me. My health disappeared.
Is he still a glass cannon?
I don't think he has as little of health as people think he does. He's still very much playable. It's not like he falls
they didn't
apart.
take like the Street Fighter 5 approach where they just gutted his health compared to the rest of the cast.
If I remember in 4, I think he had 800 or 900 health. Realistically, we say glass cannon, but how many points is that? Couple of hits?
I mean, you know, it's a few pokes and then you're down.
I don't think it's going to be detrimental to him because of how many tools he has.
He has everything, but you can just tear him into little pieces of paper.
I also kind of love the idea that they buffed reuse damage.
Okay. What, he kills you in 2 combos now instead of 3?
He can get 60% damage in 1 combo.
He can already deal so much damage, and they're like, you know what? We should give Ryu some more damage.
Here, look at Akuma, and then back here they're like secretly putting dynamite into Ryu. He's the best Shoto in the game right now, next to probably Akuma. We all know that Akuma has that DLC advantage.
Freaking Eddie in Tekken 8.
That's a weird one. Eddie Gordo's a good character. He's always been terrible.
Tekken 3. Tekken 3 was extremely good, but then he paid for it in Tekken, you know, 4, 5, 6. 7. And then he was also really good in Tag 2.
Going back to Evo Japan, I think my favorite moment at Evo Japan was watching the Fighting Vipers tournament.
I didn't catch any of it.
Do you know how they played Fighting Vipers?
Not a clue.
It wasn't on real hardware. They played it through a copy of Eyes of Judgment. That's a Yakuza series game.
Yeah.
So in the Yakuza series, they have arcades that you can go to. One of those arcade games is Fighting Vipers. The only way to play Fighting Vipers in the modern day is to play it through another video game.
Okay, that's a way to play for sure.
It has full 2-player compatibility. Like, you can just play it with a friend. So they're using that as like the tournament standard for Fighting Vipers. I don't know if it was Fighting Vipers 1 or 2. I can't exactly remember. I think it might have been both of them. So you go check the tournament that I sent you. This was for a long time, I think, people's way of playing Virtua Fighter 5. Final Showdown or Ultimate Showdown. I think it's Yakuza maybe 5 or 6 or something like that. That is like a running gag I've heard throughout the years is like the optimal way to play the game.
Play it through a different game.
Fighting Vipers 1 and 2 are on Eyes of Judgment. I didn't know that. I might actually buy it now because of that. I'm not gonna lie.
Fighting Vipers fix.
So I can play Fighting Vipers through Eyes of Judgment. Did you happen to check out any of the game announcements for Evo Japan? Unfortunately, I don't actually have the list in front of me. It's by exA-Arcadia. They're bringing back all these versions of older fighting games, and they're making a new updated version of them. The only downside, it's only in Japan arcades. It's really upsetting because it makes me wonder if they'll ever be ported.
Survey says no.
I've heard from multiple people people saying that they never bring things outside of the United States. They have a new version of Chaos Code. You know, Rage of the Dragon is getting an updated version. Asuka 120% excellent. Breaker's Revenge is getting a sequel. Arcana Hearts 3 Extend is getting a sequel.
Hey, Arcana Hearts.
And like they're doing other little things here too, like an updated version of Breaker's Revenge. They rebalanced some characters. They took a boss character and they're like, okay, we're gonna rebalance him to make him playable and tournament viable.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's so cool. And they've done this with all of these 2D versions of games. But once again, they are all trapped in Japanese arcades.
Japan, where they belong.
I am so upset because it's like
you gotta move to Japan.
I can only hope round one gets these like machines so I can go in and play them. But even then, I'm playing them alone. It's not like people are lining up to play Breaker's Revenge Chicago, which is a choice name. Why would you name something Breaker's Revenge Chicago? It has something called the Chicago
got a nice
system.
Ring to it.
You could pick Chicago mode. It's like gotta be like a groove setting or something like that.
Of course it is.
And of all things to call something, this game that hasn't come out in like 10 plus years, let's call it Breaker's Revenge Chicago. That is so dumb. You know who we're not going to give this to? We're not going to give it to the backlog, right? Let that guy suffer. Can't imagine also putting that much work into a fighting game and then just not releasing it.
I mean, they did release it in Japanese arcades.
Why are they doing this?
So that the Japanese business salarymen can get off of work, get drunk, go to the arcade, and play some Breaker's Revenge Chicago.
Everyone's favorite Breaker's Revenge stage. And I think it might have some extra characters, but I don't remember wholeheartedly. Again, I'm like somewhat excited for the possibility of those being ported or leaked somehow. There's got to be somehow, some way, sometime we're going to get those versions of the games.
I mean, you're going to have to emulate them.
I'm going to do what I got to do.
That's fair, yeah. I know you hate emulation, but you're going to have to emulate them.
I mean, I don't hate emulation. I just don't like imperfections and performance issues that you can come across, which I have come across so many. Early, I was running emulators on a potato. You actually have to have it somewhat of a gaming PC to be able to play. Who's dumping current arcade games? I don't think anybody.
You'd be surprised. There's
Someone
definitely got to be like a, like a niche group. There's a niche group for freaking everything. I wouldn't put it past them to be just dumping some arcade games too. Why not?
It's been announced for a while. During Evo Japan, they kind of brought out more information about City of Wolves. What do you think about City of Wolves so far? Because I know we did the week of Garo.
I mean, I feel like we still need more information on the Rev system.
I was gonna say Rev, but I was like, is it Rev or is that Guilty
Isn't
Gear?
it Rev?
It's something like that. I think
it's like this little speedometer thing. You don't want to go into overheat or else you can't do anything. I need more information on that, and I need to see like more gameplay with that kind of nonsense. The game looks fun. They announced Preecha. Her design's a little weird, but you got to evolve with the times, I suppose.
She kind of looks like the girl from Persona 5. Hacker girl, like strawberry blonde hair or something.
Yeah, I mean, not really. Oh, she's just a shut-in.
Is she a neat?
She's a total neat.
She looks like Futaba with like highlights.
Yeah, I guess a little bit. The hair color is vastly different though. Let me bring her up. There she is. She's got like the more carroty redhead kind of thing going on. Preecha has like a very bombastic strawberry kind of look. It's probably like the facial structure, the glasses that are throwing you for a loop ski. I think Preecha looks a little weird. You look at the old model.
Is there like an original design for Preecha?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at it right now. That is way cooler.
Because it was from the canceled Mark of the Wolves game. Glad you found that Reddit post though. I'm like, wait, am I actually going insane? It's vastly different. I don't hate her design. You're appealing to a demographic. I get it. It's cool.
Like, I kind of just would rather have Joe Inagashi.
I wouldn't want to fight with glasses though.
No, that is an interesting choice though. I just think like maybe it wouldn't push the fact that she's a nerd. Doesn't drive that fact home.
She needs those big ass glasses.
She looks really cool. I really would prefer Joe. I need this game to be successful first before I start hoping for DLC.
Yeah, you probably won't get Joe if you got Preecha. Based on like what we saw, like a little snippet of gameplay that we saw of her, she plays a fair bit different than Joe. She kind of took Joe's style and made it her own.
She still has a lot of Joeisms, but there is another SNK kickboxer or Muay Thai guy that they could be taking moves from as well. Oh yeah, his name is Waija. Even King is is technically a kickboxer or a Muay Thai practitioner. It's very easy to see like Preecha taking those moves from a lot of different SNK people and not exactly playing just like Joe. Clearly seems like an RO2, Joe is her instructor. It doesn't exactly shock me.
She's Joe's pupil. That's her like official lore.
For some reason, I don't know why, but I had this idea of her like typing on a computer like Futaba does. Like I swear to God, I thought I saw that, but I'm just mixing Futaba and her.
Ah, yes, the perfect woman. Perfect for the backlog. Yes,
oh no,
yes.
Yeah, no, it looks really cool. And I think actually after checking out the rev system, they have decided to make guard cancels now have animations that specify that it's a guard cancel. I think this is really important because when I really think about it, if I were to sit someone down and play Garo 1 and I was like, okay, this is what I'm doing, or I didn't tell anybody what I was doing, they wouldn't be able to recognize that I'm guard canceled. They would think I'm cheating. They have also made it so guard cancels and feint cancels are actually going to cost meter. Whenever they flash green, they're typically doing a feint cancel. So it's a little bit easier to notice what's going on. They also are now allowing you to feint cancel into special attacks. Before in Garo 1, Terry would throw a fireball, right? You could do a combo and at the end of it throw a fireball and then wouldn't be able to do anything after that. Now you can feint cancel the fireball and then add another attack to it. It kind of becomes like this system of chaining special moves together. So combos are going to be really long, which is sort of like Garo, but it's like a hyper aggressive version of it. And I think it's really interesting that SNK is going with this game as their next big version of, you know, an SNK game.
It's really unexpected. Like,
yeah.
Really? More Garo?
Yeah,
all right.
It's constantly compared to SNK's version of Third Strike.
I feel like it was anywhere like near as like popular,
impactful,
right?
And mind you, these were all used on the same exact hardware for a long time, which is impressive. That is incredibly impressive. Third Strike is way more beautiful than Garo is. Yeah, and they came out the same year. Well, the other thing too is Third Strike is on CPS, is what they call it. It's called the Capcom Play System. You have CPS 1, 2, and 3, and 3 is what Third Strike is on. They kept updating their boards, whereas like SNK was like on the same board for CPS 1 to CPS 3, you know, and they didn't really change for a long ass time.
You're gonna be cheap and you're gonna like it. We're also gonna hit every genre of video game.
They did have Samurai Showdown 64. I don't know if you're familiar with this.
Oh, Samurai Spirits.
It's called Samurai Spirits in Japan.
Hyper Neo Geo 64 system.
That was what their upgrade was from the Neo Geo board, which was a not successful arcade board. It was made to make all 3D games. I think it only has like 5 or 6 games actually on it. The games aren't really that good. I want to say they had a version of Fatal Fury on there called Wild Ambition, or at least that was the home port of the game. And so it's for the PS1.
7 games ever released for it.
I think most of them were...
One was Wild Ambition.
Also, Bariki 1.
Another one was Beast Busters, Second Nightmare.
That sounds fucking awesome. What is it called again?
Beast Busters?
Beast Busters. Nightmare. That is amazing. I love that. There was never a first Nightmare, I don't think.
Yeah, there was Beast Busters, and then there was Beast Busters Second Nightmare.
Goddamn.
Oh yeah. Get it, Beast Busters. It's a rail shooter horror game. That's unexpected genre. All right.
There was plenty of rail shooter horror games, though.
Area 51.
House of the Dead.
Dino Crisis.
Dino Crisis was a rail shooter?
Wasn't it?
There is a Jurassic Park rail shooter. There might have been a Dino Crisis rail shooter.
I think it was called Dino Crisis then. I don't know. I can't find it right now. But 2 of the 7 games, by the way, it's Samurai Showdown 64 and then Samurai Showdown 64 Warrior's Rage, which was just a rehash of Samurai Showdown 64.
Oh, so it was just an update. It was like Super Turbo version of it. Got you. I think it was a CD-based arcade system. There are plenty of CD-based arcade systems during that time. Like I know CDS2 is one of them. It was on the Naomi, the Sega Naomi. That's right. You couldn't even get a PS1 disc to exist for like more than a year without it getting scratched.
But the thing is, most of the PS1 scratches came from poor handling of the disc itself. In the arcade cabs, pretty much never swapping those discs. And it's just a laser reader, so...
It's always interesting too because you have like a security check system. You usually have a CD and then you have like a cartridge or something that you plug in that lets it know that the CD is authentic. It's specific to that game. It's not even a generalized one. It would be like, I need the Capcom versus SNK 2 cart to play this CD. That was their security system. So like if somebody steals the CD, they can't play it. They have to get that like security locked. It's weird.
It's interesting.
I've only known this because I've looked into buying a Naomi Naomi arcade system, because you can take a Naomi arcade, you can consoleize it, you put like controller ports for USB slots, plug a Raspberry Pi into it, and then you can just rotate the games.
Plug a Raspberry Pi into everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great hacking tool. Play anything you want to play. It's on real ass hardware.
This has a Raspberry Pi in it.
Yeah, that's wild. Should probably learn how to actually program that. It'd be really useful for making arcade systems or controllers. Lydia had been announced for Tekken 8 as well. I am now excited to play some Tekken 8. Not that I don't love Fang, not that I don't enjoy playing Fang. I love Fang. I just think he's going to be a secondary for me. How do you think Lydia's going to fit into Tekken 8?
So I feel like Lydia in Tekken 7 was already kind of designed for Tekken 8. The way that some of her moves were designed, you could easily see, like, oh, hey, she just did like Political Storm. Looking at Tekken 8, you'd be like, oh, that's probably like a heat engager. Seems like there was some Tekken 8 isms already built in, testing the waters. They also said that Lydia was going to have heart in the Tekken 8 story. Now we know that we're getting Tekken 8 story expansions. I think Lydia's gonna fit in great. Her playstyle was already more on like the offensive mixing side of things that Tekken 8 characters really excel in. And she looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
She'll have a fan base.
I'll be right there holding the flag.
Finally, a way to get you to play Tekken 8. Still waiting for Miguel to come back.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. Doesn't fit Jim's redemption arc.
Oh, wait, maybe that would be a whole thing. Jin's like, no, I'm a different person now. He's like, you can't take back genocides. You know?
Once Neo-Hitler, always Neo-Hitler.
Oh my god.
Jim Kazamer.
I think they had come out with a new ranking and popularity system as well.
Yeah. Oh, like for all the characters in total?
Since the last time we've actually had checked out the popularity, Victor had dropped off hard. Who was it first? Like,
Dragunov was first.
Dragunov, yeah. Jin has taken Dragunov's place as the most popular character, which I don't know why.
Don't be popular. He's easy, he's strong, and he's the main character. You see Leo over here, all the way like down near the bottom? Leo also has the lowest win rate in the game.
Really?
Yeah.
So people who played Leo are not good?
Apparently.
It's also interesting that most of the player base is PC now.
Yeah, right? Started out with PlayStation being really high, and then Xbox still just flounders.
I have a sneaking suspicion there's not going to be another Xbox. I mean, I think they'll make PC games. I don't think they're going to be selling like a console anymore.
Sony's finally smartening up and porting things to PC.
We're finally hitting the PC Master Race meme coming to reality.
For real. Consoles probably just aren't cost efficient to do anymore.
No, I don't think they've ever been cost efficient.
Nintendo does at cost. Most others
shows.
Have a smarter strategy of selling for under, and then games carry the console.
You can tell
the
with
Switch is ridiculous expensive for garbage.
Yeah, you're paying for something that is in a NVIDIA Shield, which was like decent processor in like 2010 or something like that. But yeah, so looking at the other list too is like a lot of people get to Genbu and they're like, I'm done with this game.
I quit. Yeah, I can't get any higher.
Oh, sorry, that's Garyu? Yeah. Genbu doesn't exist? What? Oh, I didn't even know that.
Basically, people get to red ranks and stagnate. But it's interesting to see kind of a rank inflation because of the system they have in place where you can't drop below warrior. Then also you just have to like go even to get into red ranks, and then to get into purples you have to have 55% win rate or something like that.
Everyone is stuck at orange and red rank.
Like 10% of all players are at Garyu.
That's kind of crazy.
It's weird. I think it's a symptom of changing it so you only need like a 50% win rate to red ranks. It's really easy. You just have to know like some flowchart bullshit and you just run your flowchart, or maybe they'll start their flowchart against you and then you'll probably lose. Doesn't really matter. You have to win like 50% of the time to move up.
I did not grind rank at all.
I know. I see you at you were at Destroyer or Eliminator forever.
Yeah, like anytime I play the game, I'm like, I'm gonna play player matches. Rank is just so stupid. It doesn't actually matter.
That's kind of why I get up to Fujin and then just drop the character.
I value learning more than the title. It would be cool to make it to purple or something, just because I don't know if I could do it. How much I would have to sit there and spend time on ranked matches?
You would have to put effort in.
I feel like, no, listen, I'm not trying to say that I don't have to learn the game.
Well, technically you're on Fang, so really you don't, you know?
Shut up.
Top 5, possibly top 1.
I guess my point is, like, I understand to get that title, I just have to win a certain percentage, but that doesn't mean that I'm actually learning as I go.
You could just learn some gimmicky bullshit and it'll carry you all the way into purple. It's just that's just how it is. That's just how Tekken 8 plays right now.
That doesn't feel like a flex. Once you kind of get to like purple, blue, I'm like, okay, you put in a lot of work. Even then, I would rather just play a set with you and then learn how you play. And then let's see if you can actually play. If you can beat someone in a set, you're a better player. Unless we hit that set, I'm not buying the rank. I'm sorry.
Savage.
I would rather learn from other people, learn what they're doing, learn from them, instead of just like being like, oh, I've had 2 games and this person's going to quit on me.
You should just get the purple with Lydia. I'm sure she'll be juiced as hell from DLC privilege.
I still have to learn about all the bullshit in the game, though.
Or you can just run your flowchart and call it a day.
Back 4-4-4-4.
Yeah,
my way to the top.
Shit, that'll probably carry it all the way to the red.
Just like that Eddie player, right?
Yeah, exactly. 3-3-3-3-3-3-3.
He just put on like a turbo or something?
Literally turbo. People are calling it like a bot and stuff. It's like, no. He just has that turbo button on 3. And 3 can accept matches, move forward. That bot didn't get to red rank. The highest I saw it was the beginning of Eliminator. Almost red rank.
You're at red rank. You're basically in the middle of the apple.
Which is a far cry from Tekken 7. Tekken 7, you got to red rank. You're like, damn, you got to red rank? Good job. And now it's like, oh, you're just red rank, though.
So you didn't think the game started until you hit purple.
People are saying it's Tekken King.
Where is Tekken King?
For blue.
That is some elitist bullshit.
2% of the community is Tekken King.
That doesn't mean anything. No shade to anybody who's actually put the time in.
Yeah, obviously, you're a good player if you got Tekken King. You're also an asshole if you say the game starts at Tekken King.
Sounds like he's a basement lord.
A lot of people that say that, by the way, have shown their ranks, and they're usually sitting at ruler or red rank. Okay, so you're not playing the game?
It's always the people that don't know what they're talking about that get listened to the most, I swear. Especially with fighting games.
They're very vocal. Like me. I talk a lot. I don't know shit.
Welcome to Earth. We're all just trying our best here.
I just like to look at the character popularity and see how wacky it is. Like everyone says, I'll use top 5, and she only has like a 2% representation.
Yeah, but nobody uses her.
And one of the lowest win rates.
It's just another example of how 98% of Tekken players say that Tekken is this technical masterpiece of a game, but most of us are just going to use an Unga Bunga style.
Might as well just play Jin. The fall off for Dragunov is hilarious. He was at like 8% or something like that at one point. Imagine that's just going to keep dropping.
As they nerf him?
Yeah, as they nerf him some more, because he's still way too strong, which is hilarious.
Which reminds me of like the variety of play. My favorite part of Evo Japan, the variety of games. Oh, look, they're playing Fighting Vipers on Eyes of Judgment. Let's go check out Aro and see how they're playing that.
Holy shit, Karnov's Revenge? What?
Okay, I want to see the jank stuff. I want to see those weird games that nobody plays. Oh, they're playing Power Stone 2? Hell yeah.
There's 2 40-year-old guys duking it out on Third Strike? Damn, that's crazy.
I forgot about Third Strike. It's not that fun to watch at high level.
No, it's not.
I think the finals were Yun versus Yun. This game is hype as fuck when you have character variety. I forgot there were only like 3 viable characters and you only saw 2 of them. I think it's going to be a little bit more of a Marvel versus Capcom 3 situation this year at Evo. We're going to get Yun versus Yun in the finals again. Like sitting there watching Happy Chaos versus Happy Chaos. And it's like, this is not fun to watch. Why does anybody like this?
Doesn't look fun to play either. That Young screwed up and lost 80% of his health. That's crazy.
Oh no, then the other one lost that too and did the same combo.
Yeah. Oh man, that's wild.
I just wish the game had a little bit more variety. If I see Yun or Chun-Li on screen at the same time, I just tune out. And Alex,
Chun's a little less egregious.
I mean, like,
Chun's more fun to watch too.
Like, I think I was watching yesterday and I'm like, okay, high level match, Alex versus Chun-Li. I'm interested. How is Alex gonna win this? I mean, he didn't. I was invested.
He tried.
He tried real hard.
I was rooting for him.
I can't get invested in Electric Loops with Zero. All of these like legendary games that people are, man, these are amazing. And it's like you watch it, it's like, I forgot that this is a 3-character fighting game.
That's why I've always been drawn to Tekken. You see Tekken 7, you're like, oh man, bears are so trash. And then Rangchu wins the Tekken World Tour with a bear. A really strong character versus like a weaker character, like Jin versus Zafina. Zafina can still win. She has to work a hell of a lot harder to do it. It really keeps yourself and the audience invested in the game.
Maybe someone's going to throw a wrench into that oldest time game, but I don't think so.
We've seen some upsets in old games, right? I was watching Sailor Moon S. Chibiusa beat a Jupiter, and I was like, God damn, one with this absolute garbage character.
Speaking of a garbage character, Hunter Nen Impact.
Oh, they're all garbage. You see it, and you're like, oh shit, this is just Marvel bullshit all the way down. You're watching a character, and he's punching the ground, and like a fireball comes out, behind the other character, and that leads into a full juggle of like 8 additional ground punch fireballs. And you're like, oh no, got some bullshit. Graphically, it looks bad. Gameplay wise, it just looks like another tag fighter. It looks like the coolest PlayStation 2 game that's coming out.
It does, dude. It looks like a fire-ass Dreamcast game. You know when you just see something and it feels like it's missing a soul? That's what I felt when I looked at that game.
It doesn't have like that hype factor.
Yes.
All the animations are very simplistic. All the movements very simplistic. You don't have the wow factor. You don't have the way to pull the audience in, like the really cool shit. Combo into rage art. Oh my god, that cutscene was so sick. Or, you know, combo into level 3 in Street Fighter. Oh my god, that was so sick. I'm gonna learn some more about Street Fighter. Games need to have cool factor to bring in the audiences to actually get them to watch. And then Impact has no impact. Yeah.
You know what? I like it though. I appreciate a softball pitch. Feels like you just wrote for IGN right there. Nen Impact has no impact, and that's why I'm giving it a 7.5 out of 10. Because you know how
too much water.
That's always what IGN does. They always complain about a game, and then at the end they give it like a higher rating than it sounds like they should have given it.
Yeah, they complain about like every facet of the game, and they're like, and that's why we're gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10.
You made it sound like a 4 or a 5, maybe.
This is an 8-minute review, and you use 7 minutes of it to tell me how terrible the game is, and then at the end you're like,
if you're not into fighting games, I don't think this will be for you. But if you're into the genre, you'll love this game. And then so it's just like a way to just eclipse all of the things that they said negatively about it so that they will get review titles from gaming companies. You know, maybe not listen to it, but they'll just look at that number. Nen Impact kind of looks like booty.
It's a shame. I love Hunter x Hunter. I'm a huge fan for Hunter x Hunter. Damn it, guys, you had a chance finally and you messed it up. And they're like, oh, there's no point in ever making a Hunter x Hunter game again. Nobody buys it. I feel like Hunter x Hunter would be a good fighting game if it had a budget.
Like
Battle for the Grid looks smoother. And that was a Power Rangers game put together for, you know,
2 nickels and a dime.
Yeah, for real. Anime games suck. They don't want to put a lot of budget into them. They don't want to put a lot of work into them. We've seen it with Nen Impact. We saw it earlier with Jujutsu Kaisen Cursed Clash. Ended up just being complete cheeks. They just don't care. Make some money, call it a day. Here's your Demon Slayer game. It could be an awesome one-on-one fighter, but instead we're gonna make it the jankest arena fighter you've ever touched in your life. It's gonna sell anyway. It has the Demon Slayer title. Arena games can be fun.
Yeah.
It's just you gotta actually put in some work.
I mean, I think Pokken is an excellent arena fighter.
Pokken's fun. The new Dragon Ball game looks fun.
Can't wait for that to come out and be a $50 game.
There's no way it's like a $40, $50 game, right?
It's gonna be like a $60 game, something weird.
It's gonna be a $70 game, isn't it?
It's gonna come out, have a training mode. Is that even gonna have an arcade story? No, it will have an arcade story, but it'll just be screenshots of the characters' faces with like text underneath it, like Naruto Ultimate Ninja.
That's fine. At least it has a story mode.
Naruto's text-based adventure is my favorite game. Anyway, Quint, where can people...
Under Night did that and made it work. Anyway, yeah. Basically, you can find me here on the backlog and posting memes on Twitter/X. You know, also QuintessenceHD.
Hopefully, you can find me next time at my house and not at work, where I don't have to record.
Don't count on it, though.
In an office with gray paint.
Still looks better than my room.
Until then, guys, in the Backlog Podcast number 71, we should be back next week with some Def Jam Fight for New York, but God knows when we're ever going to get together to do that.
I mean, I've played a little bit, but I think I have a grasp of how it works. You know, Def Jam players might not be super happy with me. It's fine.
I still don't know if I like the game. That's why I have to keep playing. I got to figure out what makes this thing so special that people like it. We'll see you next week, guys. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.